What's up, YouTube? What's up, Discord? Wish I would have uploaded this video yesterday. We were talking about it in the Discord, and that ticker would be LIDR, so LiDAR technology. It's Aeye is the name of the company, but the ticker is not AEYE, it's LIDR. Regardless, the stock was trading around $3. Like it popped all the way to almost 5 yesterday. Maybe I think 4.98, and then it just sold off right away first thing in the morning, like right at open and into open from that big pop. And I'm not surprised because it was up 400%. But like AMC and GameStop's best days were about 320, 330%. But it got a contract with Nvda. It's interesting because it got a contract with Nvda for vehicles, and to my recollection, Nvda isn't making vehicles. They're not in the vehicle making game. They're in the GPU game. They're into making AI factories that build other AI and stuff like that. But whatever. Nvda has a contract with them, a deal or whatever, through them, a lifeline, like Hail Mary. Again today, the stock is up, and we had multiple winners in the Discord in it. Seb, he was the guy that alerted it. It wasn't even me. He kind of alerted it, and then I look into it, and it looked good from there. They've done so much dilution and reverse splitting just to stay afloat. Like it worked, right? For shareholders who already owned it, they got crushed. They're still down 99%. Like the move today, guys, doesn't even do any of them, maybe 1%, because the overall shares, because of diluting and then reverse splitting, the original shares basically going for almost $400. So today is 1%. But if you got in between yesterday and today, you're doing very well. I went in light, I would say, and I'm up $1,500 in 2 days between yesterday and today. 700 each day, and I sold today at like 333. Thinking it, maybe it flushes, maybe it doesn't. I sold at 333, and it'll hit like $5. But I'm not going to chase it. I don't care. The reason I'm not going to chase it is because AMC and GameStop's best days were 330%, and that's where we're at after like 2 days. So I'm thinking any shorts in the play are already squozing out. It went parabolic immediately right on that contract information. It has the potential, guys, to go to double digits. I will say that. I don't want to chase it here, but it has that potential because the float is so small, because of all of the reverse splitting that it's done. Dilute, reverse split. Dilute, reverse split. The float was only 19 million. There's a couple issues, couple problems here, which is why I don't want to chase here, which is why I want to wait for this to happen, okay? And that is warrants. And then like RSUs, like stock rewards for the insiders, executives, and stuff like that. So just today they announced that the float size is going to be 23.7 million or something, 23.8. Just call it 24 million from 19 and change. Okay, that means a 20% increase in the float. The stock price should fall by 20% based on that. Okay, then if you go and look, or you can Grok, you can go to Grok on Twitter, and it's just on the left, and you go to Grok and you go, please tell me about the active warrants on LIDR, like $LIDR. And it tells you that there's over 7 million active warrants, meaning ready to dilute, 7 million at a strike of 110. So it's already in the money. They're in the money 400%. This is a warrant, guys, is like a long-term option. That's all it is. It's the same shit. And oftentimes they're just free rewarded. They're rewarded free to like investors and things like that. Like we're going to give you these shares with warrants attached to inspire them to hold the shares, right? So there's 7 million on even on the new number on 23 million. That's a 30% dilution. Okay, so take the price, times it by 0.7, or divide it by 1.66. Either way, it's so if it's $5, you're talking $3.50, which is like the new moving average number, anyways. I'd be perfectly happy to pick it up again even though I sold for $3.33 with the FOMO and the momentum. Even with the dilution coming, myself, I would be perfectly happy to pick it up at 4. I have orders from 4.15, very small order, then 3.55, like large order, 3.15, large order, and then like it's something like 2.65 or something, a large order, which is 200 EMA. But I mean, if it goes to like 9, like Nvts or something, I'm not gonna chase it at up 400% to double my money without it ever retracing. It doesn't make good financial sense to me. Like the chance of it doubling versus the chance of it falling, to me, is less. It's less than the chance of it falling. You know, if you have 1,000 shares and it falls $1 from $5 to $4, you lose $1,000. But if I have 1,000 shares and I want to double that, you know, which would be the next logical move. If you look on the candles, it would double. You know, I don't know. I mean, risk reward. It's available, but again, I don't see the reason to chase it. Nvts and Srfm are 2 stocks I've been talking about on this channel for 5 weeks. Both of them exploded. Okay, so it's safe to say anything that Nvda puts its name on, or that Palantir puts its name on, is going to go berserk. I did a live stream with someone the other day. I joined them. And Srfm was trading at, I want to say $4.95 or $5. It spiked to almost $6 the very next day. At the end of the live stream, he asked me stocks I was watching, what I was thinking about, and that was one I mentioned. And then Nvts as well. But again, there's no reason to pile into Nvts at this point. You'd be better off with Lidr because it's half the price, which is... So unfortunately, a lot of retail doesn't ever care or take into consideration warrants, dilution, RSUs, or market cap. They just look at the share price and buy the stock, which is why you constantly see stocks like Tesla or Apple constantly moving higher and higher and higher, despite them as well reverse splitting, or Nvda, right? People were so used to buying Nvda for 1,500 that they think that buying Nvda for 170 is some kind of deal, when in reality, I mean, we're over $4 trillion now, and it was $2 trillion 4 weeks ago. So with Lidr, you have to understand, again, or Nvts or Srfm, that while the share price might be attractive, consider the market cap and how many times they've diluted or reverse split. You got to be careful of that, right? So, congrats if you made money there. Ideally we see a flush into close, and then people holding over the weekend and into the weeks that come. Any new shorts that enter are going to get wrecked. You would have to be putting your head on the chopping block on this one. I short stocks every other day. Every day almost. I do. But there's stocks you don't short. And you don't short a 23 million, possibly 30 million flow. Because if those warrants get activated, which I would imagine they would, if you had a warrant that gave you a share for $1.10 and it was trading at $5, you're going to activate it and probably sell it. Okay? It's immediately dilutive. Even if that happens, though, you're talking a 30 million flow with a bunch of retail people FOMOing in, and it utterly crazy volume too. So, like, retail could pretty much own the float here pretty quick. Now, the only thing else I want to mention on this is they didn't really mention this contract or partnership with Nvda. They didn't really mention how well it would affect their bottom line or how important it was. Because like I said, Nvda is not making vehicles, to our knowledge. Apple was supposed to make a vehicle, never happened. Apple would have been using Lidr. I told you, Tesla's not using it. So maybe it's maybe Nvda says it's for vehicles and it's not. In my opinion, it's probably not for vehicles. It's probably for robotics, and AI, like robots in a factory moving around, because GPS is extremely difficult when walking. It doesn't really make sense. Lidr makes a lot of sense, right? Because it's object oriented. It determines, like, hey, there's an object here, move out of the way. And Nvda, that's kind of where they're headed. If that's the case, that's going to be an insane contract. Sky could be the limit. But if it's for cars, that's going to be trash, because Nvda doesn't make any cars. It's going to be, I don't even know. So either way, happy to have had a Discord member alerted out, and then we got the information we needed to out to everybody. It's gonna seem jank, like, oh, he's saying it after the fact, but I mean, that is the beauty of the Discord, is we can put all the info in there and share it between members. And if YouTube doesn't get it, too bad. That's why you join the Discord. I don't have to be right for YouTube. I don't have to be ahead of it for YouTube. I can come on YouTube after, and we can say, I made $1,500, Buddy made thousands, some other guy made hundreds of dollars on warrants, another guy made $600 in less than 2 hours. The Discord is $19.99. I mean, that literally paid for years of Discord, one alert, right? So, and it costs money because we put in work, and it's, we got to keep out the riffraff as well. We don't need randos in there trying to put their pump and dump schemes on us. Next week, let me just say this. Holy shit, guys. The market is either going to go ballistic towards 7,000 on the S&P, or it is going to tank. We have 4 Mag 7 companies reporting. 4. Meta, Apple, I believe, Amazon, and, Microsoft. It's going to be insane. And that's just 4 of the companies that are reporting. There's a whole bunch. Medicare stocks that are reporting. UPS is reporting. That one is UPS, guys. We've seen it do, the options do 30,000%. We've also seen the options do almost 90,000%. Weren't in either of them. But that's just to tell you how big the moves are. They're always hella expensive. We'll see about playing it this time around. For all we know, it's settled down, but the tariff situation, I'm sure that put either a damper or bolstered them. It's hard to tell. Has there been less mail, or has there been more going to them because more people need to source from Canada and the USA and not from China? China would be by boat, right? It'd be by boat and then by truck. Whereas a lot of stuff on our continent would just be by truck, possibly by plane, but UPS has planes as well. It is the whole week, guys, is blisteringly busy. Not going to get much sleep, especially with Quest Trade. You can trade at 2 a.m., so 4 a.m. Eastern, all the way until 8 p.m. Eastern. And you want to be up at those hours now. Like almost every day I'm up now at those hours. I stay up, see what's happening, and then I eventually go to bed at like 3. Then I'm back up for 6:50, 7 o'clock, trading for a few hours, maybe log off, have a nap if I even can. Like, God, it's eating my life up. But there's so much opportunity in those early hours that a lot of people don't have access to. So if you can find a broker that gives you access to those times, guys, highly recommend making the switch sooner rather than later, because it's actually been super helpful for me. The Questrade has changed to that. I've been asking them for 4 years now, 4.5 years I've been asking them for that. And I know a lot of people cannot trade until the market opens. That's why you see a stock like LIDR at 333 in the pre-market 2 minutes before open, and then when it opens, it goes boom, it goes to like $4, because there's all these orders waiting to be filled, all this FOMO that just can't happen until the actual market is open. I think it's a misconception out there that people can trade in the pre-market. They're always posting pre-market on StockTwits and stuff. It's usually irrelevant by the time the market opens, because everything changes the second the market opens. But if you can be a part of the pre-market, you just have an advantage to people. You can ride things up, get out before they drop. You can sell things off and pick them up low. I don't know. It's been really great. And Questrade now has free trading on shares, not on options, but for 3 days right now they have free options trading, which is also sweet. It's awesome. That's free. But the free trades as well. Like, you guys have had that in the States for forever. We have not in Canada. So, if you're in Canada, I normally would never recommend them, but I am leaning that way at this point. Better than interactive brokers, I would say. Interactive brokers is ugly and old. Yeah. You're going to want to be in the Discord if you want to have any sort of hope to survive next week. Because if those Meg 7s start dumping, and I think even Broadcom's in there, which is, I call it the Meg 9, because there's already 2 companies that are like 1 trillion. And the Meg 7 was originally for companies over 1 trillion. So it's not really Meg 7 anymore. It's Meg 9, because you have Broadcom, and then I think it's Trade Desk. I can't remember or it could be Oracle. Might be Oracle. There's 9 companies, so it's Meg 9 now, guys. But anyways, it's gonna make the market move all in its own, because the S&P 500, over 30% of it is just 9 stocks. They're worth the same as the bottom 35%. Okay? It's going to be wild. I am just at an amusement park now, pulling in with my niece here. So, have yourselves a good weekend, guys, and I hope you made bank this week. Put it in the comments. Cheers.